Hello YouTube, welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're going to work on a fan slash light system that goes in my bathroom. This is what it looks like right now. It's in pretty bad shape. I think we have a bulb stuck in here, the metal part of the bulb. So we got to get that out. I got to straighten some places here where I bent it. Well, look here, just popped her head up to see what was going on. So I got to straighten this back up. I was trying to get the nails out and it bent it a little bit, and that's no big deal. So we're going to try to clean this up and make this thing nice and pretty, just like we did on the cover. I cleaned it up real nice, and I can clean this up the same way. As you can see, that's galvanized right there, how nice that looks. Well, this is the same galvanized. So we're going to start off by straightening things, taking the bulb out, rebending these prongs so that they're sticking out a little bit further so they have a good contact against the end of the bulb. So we'll do that on both of those, and we'll take the fan out of it. We're going to try and clean it up and re-oil it and check everything before we put it back. So I'm hoping that all I have to do is just take these two wing nuts out and all that pops up out of there, we hope. So we're going to try to take these out, these wing nuts. We're hoping this just lifts up out of there. It looks like it does. And it just unplugs, so that's a good thing. Got 4 prongs. It needs to be cleaned up, and wires need to be replaced. As you can see, look here, these wires are frayed and dry, rotted, and cracking up. So we're going to have to replace them wires. So we may have to rewire this a different way, because them wires, they need to be replaced clear into the plug, and I don't have the little plugs that goes in there, or the prongs. So it's a good possibility that we can take and cut these wires back to here and use heat shrink on all 4 of these. So that could be a possibility. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean all this dust out of here so we can get the nastiness out. Alright guys, this is a real mess, and now I see why some of the things didn't work, and I see a lot of problems here. Number one, all these wires, that's not a wire, but all these wires are broke, or not broke, but the coatings broke off of it, and they're right where each other touch. It's a wonder this thing hasn't caught this thing on fire. In fact, there is indication that there was a fire in this box at one time. You can see the smoke damage right here. Yeah, you got smoke damage there. You got smoke damage here. Around this side. Around this side. You can see smoke damage. So there's been a fire in this box. So all this is smoke damage. Over here, all of it. Inside of it's black. Yeah, this thing has shorted out. Well, we need to clean all this stuff up, but we need to take it apart in a way and get plenty of pictures. Definitely get plenty of pictures of all angles, because you might see something one way in one light and then turn and you look at it from another direction and it looks totally different. So you want to get all angles. So I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I may have a pigtail here somewhere that I can substitute, make a new pigtail. Or I can just run new wires with no plug, and I'm going to have to put either 2 switches or 3 switches in for this unit. And I probably should do that because I got to replace all the wiring for these. That one's broke, as you can see. So it's been shortened. Yeah, we're going to test all this stuff once we get it all cleaned up. Now this thing had a night light, a main light, and then a fan. So the switch that came with it, or that was in it, was a rocker switch that had off in the middle, on one way, on the other way. So it was a double throw, double pole switch. And there was 2 of them, a red one and a white one. So I'm going to test that switch and see if it's any good, and if it is, I may just go ahead and reuse it. Or I can just run 3 light switches for the night light, these 2 lights, and the fan. So that would make 4 switches, or 3 switches. Or I can eliminate the night light entirely and just have 2 switches, which I've already got ready to go in the wall. It's 2 switches. So I may eliminate the night light. I don't see where it's necessary, because I have a night light that I plug into my wall, and I believe I'd rather have that. So we'll see. We might put that back, we may not. So anyway, I'm going to get to taking pictures. See, we've got a broken wire here, 2 of them, 3 of them. Yeah, it's a wonder this place ain't burnt to the ground. If there was electricity at that barn, I'll bet you that could have been why that barn burnt. Now look, somebody had a bread tie around it, and you never use a bread tie because it's got metal around it, or inside of it, and when the stuff rots off of it, you got metal touching your wires, and if you end up with problems there in that area where that wire is cutting through that coating, you're going to end up shorting it out that way. So you always use a zip tie, something plastic, something that can't short nothing. So I'm going to take this apart. I figure I'm going to have to just rewire the whole thing. I may have to replace these light sockets. I don't know yet. They don't have screws where you can put new wires to it like the new ones. So I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we've got it tore apart. These lights here are no good. I'm gonna look and see if I can get a set. I don't know. We'll find out. We have an option, and I don't know if these are going to be bright enough. If I put 2 of them in there at a diagonal like that, but I'd have to have a 12-volt source. So that would be as simple as I may have a inverter or converter that might work inside the box on this thing. So I'm sure I can find a place to mount it, and we can run 12 volt for the lights. We'll have to see. But I've got it all apart right now, and we're just getting ready to clean up. I'm just going to clean all this stuff up with gas. That's usually my go-to stuff to clean parts. Got the motor here. We're going to have to run some heat shrink all the way down through there as far as we can get it down inside there to keep them separated, and then that will be recoated. We may double it, I don't know. Depends on how the first heat shrink goes. So anyway, this is the vent, fan blade, pretty rough shape. The motor mount, the brackets, they're bent, so I got a straight nose. And we'll get started cleaning all these parts up. Alright guys, we've got all the hardware cleaned up the best I'm going to do. So I think I cleaned the springs up pretty nice. So I even cleaned that up on the wire wheel. I didn't get all of it out, but it's good enough to, I mean, if it's not my house, I ain't going that much detail. We got the fan done, fan blade. And we took this out of the piece so that we wouldn't get this aluminum painted. These things here are pretty much toast, I think, because these wires are pretty pretty breakable. So these here may be toast. So the wiring here is just all matted up, and I don't know how this thing didn't cause a fire. I really don't. We may eliminate this. This light was designed to have a night light and a main light and a fan. We're going to eliminate the night light. I don't need that. Alright, so then we've got all the pieces painted the best I'm going to do. It's still wet, that's why it's so shiny. So there's the pieces all painted and ready to go back together as soon as it dries. And I think we'll stop at that, and then we'll start tomorrow on putting it back together. I'm going to let it dry overnight in the shop so that it ain't skinning it when I go to put it back together, because I painted gray with black. So if you skin it, you're going to have gray streaks in it. So, but I told you I'd get this thing cleaned up nice and pretty. Look at that fan. So hopefully I'll get to put it in one day. Right now I can't do nothing. I'm out of a bathroom. I have no toilet. I have no sink in the bathroom. I have no tub to take a shower in, and everything's put on hold. That's why I'm working on stuff like this in the meantime while I'm waiting on a beam. There's going to have to be a beam put from one end of the house all the way to the other end, because the back beam is clear gone. There's nothing to nail floor to. So anyway, we're working on this, and tomorrow we'll start back at it. My batteries are all going dead on me today. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And if you want to help the shop out, it'd be greatly appreciated. You could do so with PayPal at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a good day. Later.